Super Six game of the week. Super Six sponsored by DraftKings. Column coming up on foxsports.com later in the week. And of course, we're going to ask the questions be, what will the outcome of this game be? Right now, the Niners are a 6-point favorite over the Bucs. It appears Christian McCaffrey is at least practicing. Who knows if he's going to return this week or next week or any week in the future. But John, it feels like this is a pretty bad spot for Tampa Bay here. You look at the Bucs last week. You're on the field for 40-something minutes, including an overtime, 83 plays of the combo, a Kareem Hunt bruising on the line of scrimmage, chasing, running around, and dealing with Patrick Mahomes. 6 seems like a hefty number to lay, but the fact that you got the short week for the Bucs, the long week for the Niners, the idle week in between there to get a little bit healthy, I would expect probably a lot of people coming in on San Francisco this week, right?
Yeah, they definitely are. Most of the money's on San Francisco. But why didn't Tampa Bay go for 2 on Monday night, guys? I mean, what exactly do they think was going to happen in overtime?
Because when the options are potentially win the game right here with one play, or play another quarter and give Patrick Mahomes another drive. Oh, yeah. Of course, you want to play Patrick Mahomes and put the ball in his hands to win the game, right?
The timeout was much worse, though. You can't. I mean, you got to go for 2. You saved time for Mahomes. Like, what are you doing? You're on the 1 yard line. There's 30 seconds left. You're not going to run out of time. You're just saving time for Mahomes. Oh, that was completely botched.
What did they think was going to happen with Patrick Mahomes in overtime?
And you saw Baker as soon as the coin flip was like,
he knew.
He knew.
Of course, no question about it. We'll need Tampa Bay. San Francisco is going to be a really public side. The kind of road favorites, Will, that have been coming through for the public for weeks now. I mean, you mentioned it early in the season. These teams lost every game, and now they just seemingly can't lose. So we'll be rooting for. We'll really need one of these teams to win outright. We're talking about the Buccaneers, the Broncos, the Cowboys. We'll need one of these teams to win on Sunday. Maybe the Patriots. That'd be a good one. They look pretty good, so that shouldn't be much of a problem for us. We'll definitely need one of those teams to win on Sunday. I think the Niners are going to be a very heavy public Sunday.
Was it last year or the year before where San Francisco was in a similar spot? They were scuffling and they went to Jacksonville and they absolutely boat raced them. Yeah. This kind of reminds me of this, where maybe they're getting a little bit healthy. They've had a bye to lick their wounds. Defense actually played pretty well. Tampa's not going to beat you with their receivers. It's just a lot of K-Dot and not much else. So, boy, you figure these home dogs are due to make a run here, and I'm afraid to lay points. But this is one where I'd actually probably lay the points if anything.
We'll talk about this a little bit more in my fade of the week, but this is just a brutal spot for Tampa's defense. I mean, Bear mentioned 83 plays. Not only that, this was a physical game. The Chiefs ran the ball right down their throat the entire fourth quarter and overtime. The final 3 drives for the Chiefs, where they got 100% of their yards and 3 touchdowns. And now you go and play, guess what? A team wants to run the football again on you 6 days later. It's a really bad spot for Tampa Bay. And look, their season there was this 3-game stretch. It was Falcons and it was Chiefs and Niners. This is sort of going to make or break their season. And now they're 0-2. Like, I just feel like it's just mentally, emotionally, physically a bad spot for the Niners. So I would imagine off a bye or feeling excited to get Christian McCaffrey back eventually. Like, the news is good with him returning at some point, and they won that big game against Dallas. I'm not doing the 6. I'll have a fade later, but I think this is just a miserable spot for the Bucs to be in.
Yeah, I'm looking at a Niners team total over here as well as my play in this game. Good time to buy on the Niners, potentially to win the NFC or the Super Bowl. I mean, you're probably never going to get a better price than what they are. I think they're 11-1 or 12-1 to win the Super Bowl, and I think plus 450 or so to win the NFC. Like, any takers out there on Niners, NFC, or Super Bowl futures right now?
Well, that division is such a jumbled mess, Barry. I mean, I think all 4 teams are within half a game of one another. So I think it's hard to pull the trigger on a 49ers future right now.
Yeah, I think
you don't have to lay that much on them to make the playoffs. I think it's only minus 150, minus 160. Do you play it that way where, hey, you make a bet on them to make the playoffs and then they're not going to get the bye? You just play them round 1 money line, round 2 money. Maybe that's a better way to go. I know that's people, they just want to put the bet in and not worry about executing and rolling it over properly and things like that. But that's also a way to play it if you want to do it that way.
I think I would prefer, if you're just looking at that, to win the division is supposed to make the playoffs, because them being a wild card right now, where you've got a bunch of 6-win teams: the Vikings 6-2, Eagles 6-2, Packers 6-3. Like the odds of them being a wild card, I think, are probably slim, because I think you're still looking at a team 9-8. If they get to 10, I guess they could potentially be a wild card, but they might come up a little short. I'd rather just play them to win the division, and then maybe play the Jonathan Gannon Coach of the Year at the number we were talking about last week. As well, if the Cardinals happen to pull the upset and win that division. But Bear Bets full episodes drop twice a week right here on the Bear Bets YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe to stay ahead of the odds, and let's celebrate all of our wins together.